Welcome back to the channel, everyone. A week has gone by since the Acolyte Episode 3 premiered, and not only was it the final nail in the coffin for most Star Wars fans, it was one of the most boring episodes of television ever produced, along with being one of the most poorly written, acted, and directed. So expectations for Episode 4 were low. It would have been impossible, even for Disney, to discover a new rock bottom at this point. So let's spoil the headlines right away. Episode 4, while not as bad as Episode 3, did nothing to elevate the series out of the muck that it threw itself into with Leslie Headland's social messaging experience. However, if you like walking and exposition that makes no sense, then this is the episode for you. And if you ever wanted to see a Wookiee do nothing at all, then this was the episode for you. And for those of you waiting to see a Wookie Jedi wield a lightsaber and battle it out, once again, you got baited and you got hooked because it did not happen. Kelnaka, the much hyped and much lauded Wookie Jedi teased in the Acolyte Episode 2 and 3, he dies. You see him for about 90 seconds in the beginning and then his dead body in the end. How did he die? Well, we'll get to that in a moment. After this brief intro with Kelnaka, we're transported back to the Jedi Temple to watch Padawans practice with wooden sticks. I guess the $180 million budget did not have enough room for lightsabers in that scene. Osha, our main character, has been exonerated by the Jedi. She is there to say goodbye to our generic Padawan character, and the conversation lasts way more than it should. Osha says that she's not going to say goodbye to Master Soul. She has caused him too much trouble already, which doesn't make any sense because it was her sister that did that, but don't overthink it, otherwise your brain will hurt from using too much logic. So, after realizing that her long-dead sister is actually alive and probably way in over her head, Osha does what any good family member would do. She plans on abandoning her to her fate. Meanwhile, Master Soul is in a Jedi briefing where they are discussing May and the possibility that she has a master, and what all that could mean. At this point, one would think that you call in the Jedi Council because a Return of the Sith should be the highest of priority alerts for any Jedi. But no, Master Ro, who is being set up as one of our 3 leading candidates for our mysterious Sith Master, takes charge and decides to send Master Soul, 1 Jedi Knight, Osha, and a group of what looks like teenagers to capture May and save Master Kelnaka. And oh yeah, despite everything she said, Osha is going. Because even though 5 minutes before in this episode, and 5 minutes into the journey to find our Wookie Jedi, Osha says she does not want to confront May or be on that mission. But don't worry, she will change her mind in 2 more minutes. Why? So the rest of the plot can happen. And don't worry, social messaging fans, even though you got the whole buffet last week in Episode 3, Episode 4 will still have an after-dinner mint for you to suck on. The pronouns are here, and they come out as Osha is asking about a woodchuck-looking creature that is actually a substitute for a hound dog who can track the scent of a Wookiee. We can all breathe a sigh of relief now that we have checked off that box on our gender identity bingo card. And for some reason, they have Osha's little droid, the one she carries around with her, pee on the creature because why not? Urinating on people for not understanding their language is always a good time. Am I right? Now, our other half of this episode is spent with May and her sidekick, clumsy, stumbling beta male who is constantly asking and pushing her to talk about her unknown master and encouraging her to go through with her task of killing the Wookiee. The writing is so subtle, so sophisticated. There's no way anyone would suspect that he's supposed to be one of our other 3 candidates for bad guy of the series. I mean, the dialogue wasn't too direct to suggest that he is there for a reason, or the fact that he disappears during a moment in time to give him a chance to go and kill the Wookiee himself, and then be left hanging on a tree, only to be not seen when the Jedi who laughs, who some have dubbed Smiley Ren, shows up. And then, during the same time period, out of nowhere, after dedicating her life to killing Jedi, May has a change of heart. She decides, out of the blue, with no pretext at all, that she is now going to quit, turn herself in, and tell the Jedi everything. Talk about a 180-degree turn. And yeah, she's a strong female character, so of course there'll be no repercussions, like the Scarlet Witch after enslaving an entire town of people, or Gamora who just became a Guardian of the Galaxy after helping Thanos slaughter countless sentient beings, or Echo. Who could forget Echo, the deaf, one-legged murder machine for Kingpin? Yep, this is definitely a Disney show. But again, let's not dwell on these things. Logic and common sense are difficult sometimes. Back to the Acolyte and the big reveal of Smiley Ren. May is hiding in the dead Wookiee's cabin, and it seems he was sliced through with a lightsaber, but we don't get to see that. The Jedi search party is outside and demands May come out. What better time than for Smiley Ren to float down like Lord Voldemort and light his red saber, push May out of the way, and then use a force push to yeet back one Jedi Master, one Jedi Knight, and about 10 teenagers all at the same time, and this is supposed to make us think that the real identity of this Dark Jedi is Mother Anastasia. Just so clever, isn't it? And roll credits. 28 minutes of nonsensical exposition and 90 seconds of people igniting their lightsabers and getting thrown around in the dust. I can hear the pro-Acolyte crowd now. Wasn't that a great episode? It built so much tension. And to that I say, no, it didn't. This episode did not give us anything we did not already know or think except for one thing. A dead Wookiee. Whoop-de-friggin-do. Wholly boring as hell. I know that there will be reviews that exclaim that they are left with so many questions and so many mysteries to solve. And to that I say, I have only one question, one mystery to solve. Did anyone at any level with any mental acuity proofread these scripts before greenlighting them? Unfortunately, I believe I already have the answer, and that would be a no. $180 million, Star Wars fans, and this is what you got for an entire episode. And for some reason you may be asking me, then why continue to watch it, gringo? Because of two reasons. One, it's important to call out bullshit when you see it in life. Two, the show may not be entertaining in any way, shape, or form, but seeing just how incompetent and cringy they get only serves to justify the critical reception this show, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, and Disney as a whole continues to deserve. And before you just call me out as a hater for hater's sake, I'll remind you, X-Men 97, loved it. Inside Out 2, reviewed it, loved it. But this show is total crap and should be labeled as such. And that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, I'm your reluctant gringo from south of the border. Salute and a huevo.